Even I can't deal with it in here. This is really weird.
I think it's making the clock echo more.
I think it's that wall. Oh, it's because I got rid of the COVID thing.
Oh yeah. Next studio we need soundproofing.
We need everything. Heathrow traffic is just abysmal. I'm not happy about it. Well, that was fun. The end. Hope you enjoyed the video. Click subscribe. Like
but
worse
you're still
worse.
quite baby face.
Yeah, unfortunately. Oh my god, this
ghost is back.
Thank you for watching the video. Bye.
Ow, mother. I'm just seeing what's underneath your mug.
I'm a twat. All I'm going to say is just never have night nurse.
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah. I was like, I felt really ill, so I was like, I'm going to have night nurse, and today I'm like this. You know, like in the dreams where you run, but you can't get away fast enough.
Oh my god, the same thing happens to me. Every single time I have nightmares, I'm like trapped in this, not nightmare, but like you get that anxiety feeling.
Oh my god.
Which makes me really scared if I have to ever have general anaesthetic.
Yeah. Well, talking about general anaesthetic, this is one.
Drop that for you.
Thank you, I'll take that.
You're welcome.
Anyway, hello everybody, welcome to this video. I sound like George Rinder again, great. Story time, as we always like to do, because every now and then it's nice to just unwind and sit down and gas with Jodie.
Yes.
Maurice.
And it's a nice easy edit.
And it's a nice easy edit. This is giving me great vibes.
You always feel like that with that.
I feel like Monica from Friends, but with the hair. It's just quite fabulous. Talking about Monica's hair, this is the story about my hair transplant divert. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you the story because it's a proper fever dream. You've probably seen my hair in past videos and then it's changed. So I'm just going to talk about it. So first thing is, why did I get a hair transplant? And I, unfortunately, was born with the gene of losing hair. If you remember my dad from previous videos, you'll see that my dad, his sun glistens and shines off of his head, and Jodie thought he had white hair.
It wasn't me, it was somebody in the comments.
It was somebody in the comments. And it got to the point where I was like diving all the time. I'd get out of the diving board and unfortunately...
Get out the diving board?
Oh, night nurse. So it got to the point where I was like diving every day and I would get out the pool and my hair would slick back and I would just be left with like the widow's peak. And like, I could kind of hide it with a bit of eyeshadow and other bits. I've tried that regain stuff that you put on your hair. Migraines. Like, because it like opens the capillaries. I tried finasteride, just didn't work. So I was just like looking at myself constantly being like, I'm just done with this. I'm just done with it. In England, really expensive. Turkey is so cheap. And I saved up for fucking years. I was like, you know what? It's time. So I booked it. And then COVID happened. So everything gets cancelled.
I remember it was literally last minute.
It was like, yeah, because
because
remember that Christmas when Panto got cancelled and I was like, okay, fine. I was meant to be going out on my birthday and coming back like 2 days later.
Yeah.
But then like on the 22nd, everything gets shut down. And I'm like, oh God, for God's sake, like I've been planning this for ages. Like, we block filmed loads of videos because I was like, I don't want to be all scabby. Hannah. And you can't like exercise.
Which was handy because it helped for COVID.
Yeah, and you can't exercise, you can't do X, Y, Z, so I was like,
really?
Right, yeah, you're not allowed to exercise anyway. So I was like, great. Anyway, it got cancelled. So then Panto, the next year happens, and I'm like, all COVID's coming back round. Like, it's still flying in the air, it's still there, it's flying around the theatre. Anyway, I book it, fly out on the 3rd, get the hair transplant on the 4th, fly back the 5th. That's how quick it is. It's like in, out, wham bam, thank you ma'am.
It weren't a holiday.
No, it weren't a holiday. Anyway, I'm at Panto and like the days are looming. And that COVID's still getting rife. And I don't know why I'm doing jazz arms. But I kind of like it. This is good.
I'll do it with you.
I'm
I'm banning you from ever having night nurse.
Yeah.
You'll completely do lally.
So, I'm in the theatre and then people are like, someone in front of the house has got COVID and I'm going, oh my God. I'm like, not going out, we're not doing anything because also, I don't want to shut down the show if I get it. I'm literally going to the theatre, Deliveroo, back to the hotel. Every day, like this. Not seeing anyone. I feel like I'm in prison, yeah? To the point where I'm like at the front row, I'm a bit like,
is that
please don't cough. Even on stage, I'm a bit like, social distancing. Anyway, one of the cast members, who's the loveliest guy in the world, gets COVID, and he's in the dressing room with me.
Oh no.
My first thing is he okay? Because like, that's more than anything. I'm taking COVID tests like I'm a...
Like Skittles.
I'm doing like 3 COVID tests a day because I'm super highly vigilant that I'm gonna get it, and I'm like, oh my god, it's not gonna happen again, I'm gonna have to wait another year. Like, I'm like anti-vacing like I've never done before. I'm rubbing like alcohol here on my, I'm rubbing my mouth with alcohol, I'm rubbing my face with alcohol, I'm like swimming in alcohol.
You came back like looking like a scab.
Yeah, and I'm drinking bleach. So
don't drink bleach.
No, don't drink bleach. I've had like 3 jabs. I magically don't get it.
You were like Neo.
Yeah, I was like
dodging.
Yeah, it was like Mario on the hardest level, like dodging bullets, like the protocols to get on a flight then in 2020, start of 2022 was absolutely unreal. You had to like order this test, order that test, get one for where you come back, get one for 24 hours, like before you fly home.
And you used them all up.
Yeah, because I was so worried. I'm like ordering, they're like £65 and I'm just like spending money on COVID tests because I just like want it to happen. So you have to take a COVID test 24 hours before coming back to the UK. I have no concept of time because now I'm flying into Turkey. So I'm like, is that my time or is that their time or is that the time of the flight? And I'm just like, I fly into Turkey. I have never been so scared flying on my own in my life. Really? Like, imagine just going to a foreign country on your own to have a hair transplant. I'm like walking through the airport and like, where am I going? I don't know what, anything. I can't read anything, I don't know anything.
Did you plan any of this or did you just like so
like,
focused on getting there?
Yeah, I got there and I go, oh fuck, now what? Looking around the airport like, where am I being picked up? They gave me a mini cab and it was very, very luxe. Get to the hotel, get to the room. I can't sleep, obviously, because it's like time difference. Wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy. Wash my teeth with a bottle of Jack. Gonna leave for the surgeon, I ain't coming back. Pedicure on my toes. I don't even know. No, not a nurse. I know. It's like a sucker punch to the face. Ugh. So I go into this hospital. It's dark outside. I don't know where I am. No concept of time. Nothing. Have no idea what I'm doing.
So what time was it when you got to the hospital? For you?
3 AM. I'm already really confused. So when I had the initial consultation, they were like, they said, you need like 2,000 grafts in the front of your head. And I was like, great, cool, sold. So I go into the like surgical operation room and they're like drawing on my hairline with a Sharpie. But the thing is pretty much.
But then that's what you've been doing for 2 years anyway.
You can't have it where your muscle is. Because otherwise like it would look like this. Like it would look stupid. So they draw it on, they were like, we can't go much lower than this, and I'm like, okay, cool, yeah, sold. Because I'm already doolally because it's 3 AM and I don't know where the fuck I am. Bearing in mind they're speaking Turkish and there's a translator. So I'm like, merhaba beni ala. Yeah, cool, great, just do it. I don't care, like, dodged every bullet to get here. Just give me my hairline back, Janet. They're like, you're gonna be awake for the whole thing. I'm like, what?
Oh no!
And I'm like, oh god. Bearing in mind the operation is 5 hours long.
You can't sit still for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I was like, this is gonna be awful. They're like, do you wanna watch TV? I'm like, yes. They put on this hits channel, like music.
Okay.
I'm like laying there.
That's
and it's
okay.
Just, yeah, I'm like, okay, cool. So it's just like Turkish person like doing a song, Ariana Grande. Turkish person doing a song, Ariana Grande.
Oh,
Jessie
really?
J, Turkish person doing a song. Like, they put injections in the front of my head to numb it. That's fine. Like, it doesn't really hurt at that point. And I can't feel it, but they're like with this with a scalpel. Yeah, like the front of my head, like making like holes.
Oh,
so that's where the grafts go in. Like, and it gets the front here and it's kind of painful. And I'm like, oh, and they're like, oh, so pain? I'm like, yes. Then more injections later. It feels really weird because I can still hear it and feel it being cut into my head, but then I'm like, I don't feel it. But it's kind of irritating.
You can sense there's movement there, but...
And the sound, like...
Yeah.
Like, that's what it feels like. Anyway, so then they flip me over. Like in a hole of it, yeah? Like, you know the massage beds?
Yeah.
The thing is like, it hurts because they're pushing pressure and I can't move my face. So my face ends up like being like this in the bed, like facing the floor, and I'm like, this is really painful, can I like move? So I try and move and they like put my head back in the same position.
Oh no. And
like my chin's starting to hurt because like I'm laying on my front for 2 hours. Yeah. All I can hear is like this one TIk Tok that's like, dun 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 dun, dun 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 dun. That's on repeat.
Right.
Anyway, they get these needles, right, okay, and they start, so you have to inflate the head.
What?
They have to like inflate the head because they take the grafts from the back of the head and they put them in the front.
Okay.
So they have to inflate the head and swell it so that they can get each graft, because if you imagine your head's quite saggy. Yeah?
I love that
like,
word.
You need saggy. They have to like swell up the back of the head. So at this point I look like a beluga whale.
Oh no.
So my head's like, poof, poof, and like I've got a band around my head. The injections were the most painful thing because it was like, they're like pumping it full of like saline and whatever else. Bearing in mind they had to shave me bald before the operation. And then they take out this weird piece of equipment thing that's like, and like sucks out. So imagine like your hair is in like a test tube. They suck it out and that's the follicle, and then they'll plant that in the head.
Okay.
Yeah? So like they take the follicle with the hair in it.
Yeah, okay.
And then they leave like this thing. Anyway, there is just blood like streaming down, and I'm like, they're like tissue, and then they put it down. And then they turn my head and I'm like, oh thank God. And then this side of my face starts hurting. And then they move me back round to this position. And then they go like this. This isn't even the graft, this is just taking the grafts out.
Oh my God.
And they take it from the back. So that hair will never grow back.
Okay.
Because they've taken the follicle. They've taken some people's neck beards here because they had no hair left on their head. So they've taken their neck. They take any hair. Any hair. They didn't do that for me because
you've got no body hair below your eyebrows.
No, I'm like the thing. I'm like the thing from Kim Impossible.
It takes you a month to go like,
skinless hair.
Maybe I should shave.
Exactly. So they've done the follicles on the back of the head. Anyway, they flip me back over after I've got like pirate scars on my face from the bed. From like when you sleep on like the pillow and it's like encased on your face. This lady comes in with this bag of stuff. Anyway, she puts an injection in my arm and I'm like, okay, well this is fun, whatever this is. My arm's kinked at the time. And the only way I can judge about the time is like looking at it and being like, when the bag gets to the E, that's closer. Like, you know when you just judge? Yeah. You just look at something and you're like, oh, that's gone down to the E, so it's been X amount of time. I have no concept of time right now. I don't know what time it is. There's like, I see the light coming through the window, so I'm like, okay, and then like the rush hour in Turkey starting. Then the grafts begin. They're taking the follicles off this piece of like tray and they're planting them in my head where they put the things. There's two of them doing it. They're having a conversation between them. I have no idea what they're saying because they're speaking in Turkish. They just stop every now and go, pain? And I'm like, yes, there is pain. Anyway, the lady realises that my arm's kinked and she goes like this, boom. This stuff just boom, to me, to my, and I was like, oh, it's painkiller. That's why she starts.
They've been like upping it up. Every time you say there's pain,
girl,
they're upping it and it's not going in.
I don't know what it was, but whatever it was sedated me to the point where I was like comatose like night nurse. I'm watching Ariana Grande focus on me in Turkish. And then every now and then, da, 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 da. My head's like swimming. And then they're planting the grafts in my head. You know, like razor burn? That's exactly what it feels like. Finally, the time comes where they've finally done it. I think 2,500 in the end in the front of my hair, like all here. And they're like, okay, sit up slowly. I sit up and the world is in slow motion. I didn't know where I was, what I was doing. And they were like, you need to eat now. And I was like, okay. There's a tray of food in front of me and I'm just like, missing my mouth, like, you know, it was such a fever dream. Anyway, my head's got this band around it and just packaging, like, on the back of my head, and it's just dripping all the saline and blood. I'm in the taxi on the way back to the hotel, like, traffic is really bad. And like, this guy in the taxi with me, he wasn't affected at all by the medication, but I was really, really affected. So I can't even make words. Whatever they gave me, what? I needed to eat, but I didn't go down to dinner. And they're like, you can go down. At this point, I don't even feel like I can go downstairs because I'm just in a fever. I managed to like summon up the strength to get some like of the money and go to like this little tuck shop with all these snacks, and where I buy all these snacks, and I literally just had crisps for dinner. How I did? I think I ate a whole pan. If I still on the drug, I hold a whole pack of Pringles. Like
that's unlike you.
Yeah, no, I was just like, I need food. The only channel that I can watch Korean soap opera, which is like amazing, or BBC News. Switch on BBC News worldwide. In this moment in time, like the medication's wearing off. I also have to get my COVID test sorted to go home.
Okay.
So I'm like trying to do it at the same time as like, I can't even do one thing at once, let alone two things, normally. Anyway, on the TV they're like, now to Southampton, where these guys have been diving to be stuntmen, and I'm like, they're like, this guy dives in heels, and I'm like, that's me! With my old hairline! Anyway, I'm watching myself on the telly in Turkey after a hair transplant. I'm so confused, trying to like get a COVID test to like go home. I managed to go to sleep after this weird thing. And when I say you have to sleep upright. Now I'm a sleep snob. I can't sleep anywhere. I can't sleep anywhere but lying down. It's the worst night's sleep I've ever had in my life. I feel like Amanda Thripp. Pain? Yes. More painless. So I had like 2 hours sleep. Then I have to go back for the next day consultation. The guy that was like my translator was really nice and friendly. He spoke to me about all this stuff, and he was like, this is what we need to do. We need to take the stuff off, wash it, and then you'll go home with no dressing on. I look like a beluga whale still, because I've still got the band around my head. They were like, don't take the band off, because the swelling will come down. They had to wash the back of my head to get all the stuff off. Yeah. Bitch, the pain. They wash it all off, and I'm like, still got this beluga whale thing on. I go up, and he gives me the
oh yeah,
that thing. The washing hair stuff. To get the scabs off, you have to like slowly massage it. He gave it to me, and I was like, okay, cool. I was like, by the way, what measurement is it? And he's like, oh, it's 150 mil. And I was like, oh, I can't take it home. And went back to the hotel room. Was like, right, okay, what can I do? I found the cleaning lady's trolley. They're these small bottles of like shampoo and like lotion. Taking them, emptying them, and then filling up with this special shampoo stuff. Okay. Yeah, so like, I was like, if I can take loads of them in small things, if it doesn't equal like 150. So I'm like pouring the lotion and I'm pouring all this stuff in these tiny bottles, washing out the thing, the whole bath's frothing up with, you know, conglomerate of different lotions and stuff.
George's Marvelous Medicine.
Yeah. I'm like making like the Powerpuff Girls like, in the sink with all this stuff. I managed to like have some food down a thing, I order an omelette, and they're like, as I'm just about to eat the omelette, they're like, the taxi's here, and I'm like, for God's sake, I haven't eaten. Some more Pringles later. I get to the airport. Now at this point at the airport, I'm in pain. I don't feel like I can move, I'm literally like a Dalek.
So you've had, what, 4 hours sleep by this point?
I don't know how many, like I don't even know how many sleep I've had. I don't even know what country I'm in.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, I could have got on a plane to Uganda and I've probably been like, yeah, this is right. And I'll get on the plane, finally get on the plane, I'm like, right, 4 hour flight. Worst flight I've ever been on in my life. And you can tell who's had a hair transplant because they've all got this bandwidth, this massive fucking pillow thing, and then like scabs on the front of their head. So it's like, I stand up and you just see like a sea of all these bald heads with like this. I'm like, they had a hair transplant, they had a hair transplant, they had a hair transplant, they had a hair transplant. And I'm like this. Anyway, I chose an aisle seat, which was the worst thing in the world. Right at the back of the plane, where the toilets are. I'm super self-conscious about people bumping into me. So I'm like this. The people next to me, they're like sleeping and watching Mortal Kombat or something, and I'm like, fucking, just dodge it. I go to the bathroom every 10 minutes just to get away. I can't put my head on the back of the seat, so I'm like, this the whole flight.
No.
Oh, God, we land. I'm like, get me home now. When I got home, it's time to like start washing off the stuff and the scabs. With my new shampoo. You can't shower because it's too pressurised.
Oh, okay.
You have to like slag wash. So I'm like this, and then I'm like dribbling water over the front of my head with a jug. As I was washing my hair, I was like, it's a really familiar smell. Like, what smell is that? You know when you smell like a shampoo bottle and you're like, God, that smells like something. I'm like, this high quality shampoo, wonder what it is. It's baby shampoo. I was like, great, so I spent fucking hours like, pouring in this like stuff thinking it's like amazing chemicals, and it's baby shampoo.
And it's the same stuff I bath the dog in.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, no more tears. Pain? Yes. Anyway, so time's going on. I'm like, it's starting to grow back, but they say you get shock loss and bits are falling out. Anyway, I believe we'll get great results. And it takes like a year for the results to come back in. Things are growing back slowly. Like, this is growing a lot slower than the rest of my head, so I look like fucking Bert and Ernie. Like, this is like a cockatoo, and this is like tiny little stubs of grass. Feels like AstroTurf at the front of my head, but the rest of my hair feels soft. I'm like, my hair's starting to get to a length where I feel good again. I get a job. They're like, the guy's got a grade 3 shaved head. And I'm like, oh. So now I'm back to having a crew cut.
I think it looks good.
Yeah, I'm really happy with it. Happy with the results. And the pain. Do you want pain? Yes. I just want some more of that stuff.
Maybe you need some of that tonight so you don't have to take night nurse.
Yeah, God. Never take night nurse ever again. So that was the story of my hair transplant. I'm glad I did it. I'd never have my hair this short if I didn't have it, because you could have seen it.
Yeah.
To the point where I got ID'd the other day.
Did you?
Yeah.
Buying what?
Petrol.
No.
Yeah. I think no, I might be buying alcohol. No, I was definitely buying alcohol. Night nurse as well.
That's not a good combination. Maybe we should ID it.
They were like, oh, really? Like, he looked at my hair and I was like, yes. And he was like, pain? It's like, yes.
And then you realise you're still in the surgery.
Watching me dive on the telly again. I'm like, what? What? BBC News? What? They're like, you wake up and you're like, dun 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 dun. Who am I? Who am I? Well, make sure you like this video and subscribe if you want more story times and different conglomerates of stupid videos. We also have a Patreon where we do podcasts monthly, as well as a live stream where we talk about deep things like pain. We also have beautiful merch by Eleanor here.
Oh, she's Eleanor now.
She's now dead. I don't know. Milk pain.